What is up, everybody, and welcome into Weathering the Storm, an Orlando Storm podcast. I am your host, Dakota Wolf, and today we are going to be continuing this seemingly forever ongoing series where we are introducing every single position of the Orlando Storm's 2026 roster. And today we are doing the last position left on the offense and easily the most important one on the team that will decide the Storm's success for this season, quarterback. Really excited to get into this group. Of course, we have Dorian, Thompson-Robinson, Jack Plummer, and Hank Bachmeier. Can't wait to get into these guys. I just want to go ahead and give another disclaimer. This is probably going to get pretty confusing for everyone keeping up, and I apologize for the inconsistency on my part. Of course, I'm still learning this thing. I'm still trying to come up with new ideas, what's best, and all of that. So, of course, this is a little bit awkward, but I'm just going to roll with it because at this point, I really don't have any choice if I want to get all these videos out on time before the game starts this Sunday. And that is, I'm going to do this video and all the position groups going forward like I did the last video with the offensive line. And that is, I'm just going to introduce these guys and give, a little bit of in-depth background on them. And then that's going to be the video. They're probably going to be a lot shorter than normal, especially this one. It's only 3 people. But it is much faster for me to do that, and it's a lot less editing, which takes up so much time. Even though it might seem simple, just splicing these clips together that I found online and throwing them in a video, and it takes hours to put these highlights together. So I don't have time. Plain and simple, I should have started this earlier. That's my fault. I apologize sincerely. But I just don't have time to do it for every single position. At this rate, I am going to have to do multiple videos in one day at some point if I'm going to get all of these out by Sunday. So that's where we're at. And that's what's, easier for me to do. And at the same time, it, in a way, it's better because I'm actually talking. This is a podcast, and I'm giving more, like a little bit more of my opinion in here in the mix. So it's better in some ways and it's worse in others. I had an idea and I wanted to go with that. It just didn't work out. So the wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, they all got the little highlight reels or whatever. I'm not going to do it for the rest of the guys. I apologize to those players, and I apologize to you all watching for the inconsistency, but I am going to go ahead and communicate that now. This is the format we're going to be doing going forward. The same thing I did with the offensive line. That's what I'm going to do with every position group going forward. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into these guys. And I'm going in numerical order by jersey number. So don't think I'm playing favorites or this, that, or the other, or have some, unfair bias towards one of these guys, because right now we don't have a starting quarterback. Anthony Becht has not named one, and there is some interesting stuff going around on social media regarding these guys. So that being said, there's not a definitive QB1 right now, and when I'm breaking this down, I'm just going to go in order based off jersey number. So, if you're Jack Plummer, do not come at me, or, a Jack Plummer defender or a Hank Bachmeier or whatever. I'm just going to treat these guys the same, and we're going to talk through their resume, and that's going to be that. And then we'll see when Coach Beck's announces his starter. And I'm not going to be upset regardless. It'll definitely be interesting if Hank Bachmeier gets started. I'm not going to lie. If that happens, it'll definitely catch me off guard, but I'm going to trust in Coach Beck, and I'll judge him after the results come through because, if he makes an unpopular decision, it'll become popular if it goes well. If it doesn't go well, it's not going to look good. Not at all. And again, I'm not going to say any quarterback would do this, but I'm having to drive there on Sunday. I have to work Monday morning, and this is a 2.5 hour drive. The game starts at 8 p.m. If I got to do all this and then I got to come to work that next day, absolutely drained just to watch the wrong quarterback start and look bad. It's not going to be good, man. It's not going to be a good couple of days, but that being said, let's have faith. Let's have faith in coach to start the right guy. And for whoever that guy is, just have faith in them, at least until they prove us wrong. So no matter who it is, I got faith in their abilities until they prove me otherwise. But that being said, Yap session is over. Let's go ahead and get straight into the players and their resumes. First up, we have number 1, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He is 6'1" tall and weighs 206 pounds. He, of course, went to college at UCLA and is from Columbia, South Carolina. He is 26 years old. DTR began and ended his career with the UCLA Bruins, where he played from 2018 to 2022. He was named second team All Pac-12 with the UCLA Bruins in 2020 and 2021. By the time he finished up his career with UCLA, he had accomplished a 63.3% completion percentage, threw for 10,695 yards passing, had 88 touchdowns through the air as well as 36 interceptions, and also added on 1,827 yards rushing with 28 rushing touchdowns. So after graduating from UCLA, he was drafted in the 5th round of the 2023 NFL Draft by the Cleveland Browns. Probably the worst possible place he could have been drafted. There and probably the New York Jets. So they definitely didn't do him any favors there. But he did beat out Kellen Mond and Joshua Dobbs for the backup quarterback position for the Cleveland Browns, sitting right behind Deshaun Watson. However, after a couple of years with the Cleveland Browns, he was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles in 2025 and was waived prior to the beginning of their regular season. At the end of DTR's NFL career, he would finish with a 52.6 completion percentage, 880 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and 10 interceptions. He also added on 187 yards rushing. So when you look at the numbers for DTR in the NFL and in college, it is a stark contrast to each other. However, if you really watch video of his time with the Cleveland Browns, and I don't want to act like I've seen every single game and I've seen every single throw, but from what I have seen of his time with the Cleveland Browns, you can just tell the system that they put him in was not catered towards his skill set whatsoever. I don't want to take all of the blame off of him. Obviously, he did throw the passes that he threw, but at the same time, this is the Cleveland Browns we're talking about, and the resume of quarterbacks that they have ruined is lengthy. So that's all I'll say about that. I just don't want to put all of it on DTR. The numbers look really bad for his NFL career, but it's the Cleveland freaking Browns. I mean, come on. But up next, we have Jack Plummer, number 13. He stands at 6'5" tall, so easily the tallest quarterback in this room. Weighs 215 pounds, went to college most recently for the University of Louisville. He is from Gilbert, Arizona, and is 26 years old. So he played college at Purdue from 2018 to 2021 before transferring to Cal, where he played for the 2022 season. He then transferred to Louisville and finished out his college career with them for the 2023 season. So he did earn third team All ACC in 2023 with the Louisville Cardinals, and he'd go on to finish his college career with them with a 64.1% completion percentage, 9,728 passing yards, 68 touchdowns, and 31 interceptions. After going undrafted in the NFL, Jack Plummer would then sign with the Carolina Panthers as an undrafted free agent for the 2024 season. He would bounce on and off their active roster throughout 2024 and 2025 until he signed with the Orlando Storm in 2026. So up next we have number 19, Hank Bachmeier. He stands at 6'1" tall, weighs 208 pounds. He most recently, or most notably, went to college at Wake Forest and is from Murrieta, California. He is 26 years old. Now, if the name does sound familiar to you, that last name anyways, That is most likely because he's the brother of Tiger and Bear Bachmeier, who both play at BYU. How they both got named after really cool animals and he got stuck with Hank, I have no idea, but that's besides the point. He did play college with Boise State from 2019 to 2022, Louisiana Tech in 2023, and Wake Forest in his final season in 2024. He finished up his college career with a 63% completion percentage, 11,256 yards passing, 67 touchdowns, and 34 interceptions. He also added on 204 yards through the ground and 6 touchdowns. His only professional experience after his time with Wake Forest, Louisiana Tech, and Boise State came with the BC Lions in the CFL, where he was with their active roster for a very brief amount of time in 2025. And then that, of course, brings us to 2026, where he has signed with the Orlando Storm. So that's going to do it for the quarterback room for your 2026 Orlando Storm. We have Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the dual quarterback out of UCLA with a decorated resume in college for the Bruins, and then more of a questionable resume with the NFL. Does have the experience in the NFL, but the real debate there is whether no experience is better than a bad experience. It was with the Browns, so that is a significant caveat, but it is still a matter that is up for debate. Then we have Jack Plummer, the more statue, general type of quarterback, not going to get you anything with his legs, not going to be able to do anything with a read option. You're not fooling anybody, more of an old school stand in the pocket type of quarterback. Had a decent record with Louisville, but did kind of bounce around. He did have good numbers with California as well in 2022. But it is a bit of a mixed bag, not as spotless as a resume as Dorian Thompson-Robinson with the Bruins, but still a pretty good one nonetheless, and pretty solid numbers regardless. A little bit of history in the NFL with the Carolina Panthers, so I guess that is good to see that he is at least capable of impressing an NFL roster, or at least an NFL staff, and making their roster, although it was very brief. But it's still good to see that at the very least. Still, that being said, not as thorough of a resume as DTR when you combine the NFL, like the length of time he was in the NFL, and in terms of actual games started and played. That being said, Jack Plummer is still fully capable of being the starting quarterback for the Orlando Storm and succeeding at this level. And then to finish off the group, we have Hank Bachmeier, who has had good numbers throughout his college career. Certainly respectable, a good touchdown to interception ratio and solid passing yards, solid completion percentage, and a little bit of ground game, at least more than Jack Plummer. But that being said, still not near the long-term success or continuous success as either Jack Plummer or DTR in their college careers. Most notably here for me, and this is not to rag on Hank Bachmeier whatsoever, he could still be a fully capable quarterback in this league. But just looking at his record in his final 2 seasons is probably the most alarming thing. When he went down to the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, he only had a 2-6 record. Still good numbers. 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's a decent, touchdown interception ratio anyways. But then when he went to Wake Forest, it didn't really get any better with a 3-8 record, 16-10. So they're respectable numbers. But most likely here, again, this isn't any bias or any disrespect, but we're most likely looking at a battle between DTR and Jack Plummer here, with Bachmeier filling in an emergency situation, or just backing up this group in case something happens. But that is going to complete your QB room for your Orlando Storm. Let me know what you all think below. Do you prefer the mobile abilities of Dorian Thompson-Robinson and the more accomplished career? Or do you think Jack Plummer has a shot at taking QB1 due to the leadership skills and just the more old school quarterback style of standing in the pocket and delivering accurate throws? Let me know what you all think, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for weathering the storm. Go Storm. Surge on.